Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are getting into the weeds on a very specific piece of hardware. We're looking at the NTI KEEMUX-P2 PS2 KVM Server Switch. And our mission really is to take this dense technical spec sheet and figure out what it actually does and why it's still so important.
Yeah, and at its core, when you look at it, it's a KVM switch. KVM just stands for keyboard, video, and mouse.
Right.
So the whole idea is letting one set of those, one keyboard, one monitor, one mouse, control a whole bunch of different computers. You can see how that immediately cleans up a server room. All those extra cables and monitors just gone.
And we're not just talking about 2 or 4 computers here. The spec sheet says this thing can control up to 128 computers.
Up to 128, yeah. You do that by cascading units together. But that scale is really the headline here.
So how does it even pull that off without, everything crashing?
That's where we get to what I like to call the invisible worker inside the box. The key is that the switch has these dedicated little microprocessors inside. And their only job is to emulate the keyboard and mouse to every single attached computer, 100% of the time.
So it's basically tricking each PC into thinking it has its own dedicated keyboard and mouse plugged in, even when it doesn't.
Exactly. It's a constant digital handshake. And that's the secret sauce. It guarantees that all those computers, whether it's 2 or 128, boot up completely error-free. No more keyboard not found, press F1 to continue errors.
Which is a lifesaver in a big installation. Looking at the hardware, it's all PS2 connectors, right? These female 15-pin for video and the 6-pin mini DINs for keyboard and mouse?
Yes. And crucially, the keyboard and mouse are hot pluggable. You can swap them out without having to power down the whole rack.
And this thing is built like a tank. It says rugged steel construction, powder coat finish.
Oh, absolutely. This is not a desktop toy. It's made for the data center. It even comes with this heavy-duty tactile keyboard with a full number pad. And something really efficient about the smaller 2-port models. They actually draw power directly from the computers they're connected to.
So no extra power brick. I like that. But I think the most surprising thing for me was the platform diversity. This isn't just for a stack of identical servers.
Not at all. This is where it really shines, bridging old and new tech. Of course, it supports all your standard PS2-style PCs and laptops.
But then you see things on the list like HP 9000, Silicon Graphics, even IBM RS6000 and SUN Fire V20s. That's a huge range.
It is. And the operating system support matches that breadth. We're talking everything from Windows 2000 all the way up to Windows 10 and modern Windows Server. But also Solaris, Linux, FreeBSD. It even supports legacy Mac OS 9 and 10. You could genuinely have one console managing a complete museum of computing history.
And there are some management features here that really respect an administrator's time, like the auto-scan function to catch system failures early.
Right, it just cycles through each machine.
But the real power feature seems to be broadcasting keystrokes to all computers at once.
Oh, that's a huge one. You can run a command, and it executes on every single machine simultaneously. Think about simultaneous shutdowns. We're pushing a critical patch to everything at once.
And what about the video? That's usually where these things fall down.
Not this one. It supports a full 1900 by 1200 resolution with 0 degradation. The bandwidth is 150 millihertz, so the signal is crystal clear.
It also mentions on-screen display and RS232 control as options.
Yeah, the OSD is for visual switching, and RS232 is for remote scripted control. That lets you automate tasks and integrate it with bigger management systems.
So to sum it up for everyone listening, what we have here is a tool for centralized multi-platform control. It's essential for any large environment, especially ones with legacy gear. And it's TAA compliant, so it's cleared for government use. Plus, it has a 2-year warranty. It's a serious piece of kit.
It really is. And that brings me to a final thought for you to consider. Given how well this supports older specialized systems, you have to ask yourself a question. Instead of retiring that old specialized hardware that still does its job perfectly, what if you just consolidated it? It makes you wonder, is the real cost of legacy hardware the machine itself, or is it just the complexity of managing it?